He held the death certificate with both hands. 3 days earlier, he had lost his wife, Maria, the woman he had lived with for 52 years in a small house on the edge of the village. They never had much. One room, a kitchen, a stove that crackled in the winter, and a garden that gave them potatoes and onions for a lifetime. He had been a mechanic at Mercedes. She had worked in the fields and later at the cannery. They never went on vacations. They never had savings. They only had work, Sundays at church, and a table where they always sat side by side. When Maria passed away, peacefully, with her hands folded on her chest, he knew only one thing. He had to bury her properly. In the Christian way. His pension barely covered medication and utilities. They had a son, but he was struggling too, with loans and 2 children in school. The old man did not want to be a burden. The funeral aid was not for luxury. It was for a coffin, for the grave, for a simple cross that would say, Maria. What do you mean it does not appear? He asked softly. Look, ma'am, it is stamped. It is from the town hall. The clerk typed briefly. If it does not appear in the system, it does not exist. That is the procedure now. Waving the paper in front of me will not help. Go and clarify it. But what should I clarify, dear lady? What more proof can I bring? Forgive me, besides this certificate. I have her at home, in the room, with her hands folded. Behind him, the line rustled. A man cleared his throat. A woman said they were in a hurry. The old man was sent to another counter, from there to another office, then back again. It is not our responsibility. It is not within our competence. Take the certificate to the counter. But I am coming from the counter. They did not accept me, the old man explained. Instead of sitting beside her coffin, he was walking cold hallways with a folder under his arm, waiting for stamps. The next day he came again. It still does not appear, the clerk said without looking at him. The line was even longer. People sighed, subtly pushing forward. She typed slowly, stopped, looked at the screen, smiled briefly, clicked again. Next. The word fell heavily. The old man stepped outside and sat on the stairs. He took off his cap and began to cry. Not loudly, not theatrically, that dry kind of crying of men who have nothing left to prove. A young man who had stepped out for a cigarette saw him. What happened to Grandpa? The old man told him, with long pauses. About Maria, about the death certificate, about how her death did not exist in the system, even though it existed in his reality. The young man went back inside with him and walked straight to his colleague at the counter. Ma'am, this elderly man's wife has died. He is keeping her at home, waiting to bury her. What do you mean it does not appear in the system? Let us check together, please. The clerk sighed and turned the monitor slightly. The young man leaned in. Wait, here. The personal ID number. It is written incorrectly. An extra character. Twice. Silence fell. On the screen, behind the window with the entered data, a shopping website was open. Dresses, discounts, a virtual cart with 2 items added. The young man looked coldly at his colleague, who seemed bored with her daily tasks, as if she were only waiting for payday at the end of the month while everyone else depended on her help. The line began to murmur. You typed it wrong yesterday, the young man said calmly. How is it possible to type it wrong 2 days in a row? Today you did not even check. How is that possible? The clerk blushed and did not dare to comment. She corrected the ID number in silence. In 3 minutes, the request was validated. It is approved, she said more quietly. She printed the document. Condolences. The old man took the paper with both hands. May God grant that you never have to prove someone has died using a keyboard. And he walked out slowly.